JoomDev is closing its Joomla products. And in this video, I'm going to share with you how I feel about that. Hey there, Joomla fans. Tim Davis here. I'm a Joomla fan too. Thanks for tuning into this video here on the Basic Joomla Tutorials YouTube channel, where I show my favorite extensions, tools, and tips for building and maintaining Joomla sites. This video is brought to you by mysites.guru. Head on over to mysites.guru and get a free site audit for your Joomla site. And while you're there, check out the tools and information that will save you time and money managing one or multiple Joomla sites. And if you decide to subscribe, use the coupon code BASICJoomla. You'll get your first month free. All right, so why this video? Well, of course, there's a lot of people talking about JoomDev shutting down its Joomla products. They're still going to be working in Joomla sites, and they're still continuing on as a company with other projects. But I thought that I would share my feelings about it because those of you who are regulars on the channel know that I'm a big supporter and promoter of Asteroid Framework, and I like JD Page Builder too for a number of things. And I think there probably a number of people have been influenced to use these products by watching my channel. In fact, is how I met Chaitin Madan, who owns JoomDev. He came onto my channel almost 3 years ago and gave a tour of Asteroid Framework, and I immediately loved it and got excited about designing pages again, doing it myself. So I promoted it because I really thought that it was great. I still think that it's great. We'll continue to talk about that in a little bit. But anyway, so having influenced a lot of people through the promotion here on this channel, I thought that I should make this video. I wanted to make this video and just to go over some of the things from this news. Now, first of all, so if we take a look at the page here, you'll see there's the announcement on the JoomDev page. You can go there and read it and catch up on that if this is news to you. But there's a couple of things that I want to say. First of all, the first thing I want you to know is that Chaitin and I are extremely close friends. Since that first interview and interaction on my channel, we have grown to have a very rewarding and wonderful friendship. I love him. He loves me. We've told each other that. I hope that you have friends like that in your life. And I hope that if you do have friends like that in your life, that you've told them that. That's really important. So, anyways, my comments in this video are not critical or are not angry. I'm not angry anymore. We'll talk more about that. But I just want you to know that that's my relationship to Asteroid. I did not promote Asteroid Framework or JoomDev products because I was good friends with Chaitin. I was not friends with him when this path started out. But in real life, a gaming term, outside of Joomla, we talk regularly. We talk about life. We talk about business. We talk about a lot of things that's really rewarding. And so that's partly the context of my relationship. Now, many of you probably are aware of how well we get along together anyways, because we did the Joomcast podcast that we started up to help promote Joomla and developers and things in Joomla. That podcast has not gone out for a while because I was doing the editing and it took so much time. I just haven't had time to continue that. And we found it difficult at times to find people to come on to the podcast to promote their things or talk about the things. Just as a side note, I'm always looking for people to come on my YouTube channel to promote their things, and sometimes that is challenging as well. But anyways, all things aside, Chaitin and I are really close friends, and that continues. And so if it makes a difference to you that the context of my relationship to Chaitin in these comments that I make, then there you go. There it all is. Now, the other thing, so the next thing that I would say about JoomDev's announcement is that this is Chaitin's business. It's not my business. And even though I really like the products and promoted it, anything that I say in this video or think that I've drawn a line, a healthy line, in that the decisions that JoomDev has made, and that ultimately Chaitin as the owner has made, is or are his business. So the news has just come out yesterday. I've known for a little while, and he and I have talked about it, and we probably don't even agree totally 100% on everything, but ultimately it is his business, and I think that there is a really it's a really key aspect to look. In Joomla, we tend, when things close or things happen, there is a personal and emotional element to it too, because all of these things happen inside of community, and so. I know for a fact there's nothing personal happening here, that this is a business decision. And whatever factors have led to it, that's Chaitin's business, not my business. And so I'm not going to talk about those things. If you have questions or are wondering, you could always contact him, I'm sure. And I'm sure he'll communicate appropriately based on whatever relationship you have with him. I looked at buying Asteroid. So when I knew this decision had been made, after a little while, I realized, hey, I like this so much. Why don't I buy Asteroid? And I could have gotten Asteroid. Could have bought Asteroid. Chaitin probably would have given it to me if I had asked him. And I knew that he was. It was being shopped around to a lot of other Joomla developers and people in the Joomla community. I looked at it. I would have loved to have done something with it, but in the end, I could not find a way for it to make financial and business sense for me to do it. As much as I like it, and as much as probably I'm emotionally attached to it in some way, because of how much I like it, I could not find a way that it made sense for my business. Part of it was I couldn't find a solution that was going to be practical for a programmer. I talked to some people with Chaitin's permission to ask them, as I considered that. And even though I talked to people that are friends of mine and that we have done things with, and some that were very excited about Asteroid and like that product, ran up the flagpole, and no one seemed excited enough to salute. And there were some great ideas of where it should go. I have great ideas where it should go. But I realized that there just wasn't for spending money, for buying it, there wasn't... That just didn't make sense for me. Also, even getting it for free didn't make sense for me because, like I said, I couldn't put together all of the parts that would be required, being programmer, adequate support, server for hosting things, and just expenses and that. And it just would have been too much of a distraction for me. Now, we'll talk a little bit more about that if other companies are going to pick it up. Listen, I want to say one thing here. There's been a discussion going on Facebook, as there are discussions about these things. And there's one particular comment that early on in the discussion, there's been lots that are good, and others, people talking about some things that they don't really understand, and others sharing their opinions. And I think that all surrounds over the feelings that we have when these things happen. It was a comment by Nikki Veach. Now, Nikki, her business is Web Solutions Z. Web Solutions Z. That's how we say it in Canada. I don't know how they say it in Australia. I think it must be Z in Australia, probably British origin. But anyways, Web Solutions Z. I'll put the link down below. And here's the quote from Facebook that she said yesterday. She says, "Unfortunately, it was always a gamble to see how many third-party developers would want to spend the time/money to upgrade their extensions to J4 when their dev time money could feasibly be spent on other platforms with larger user bases and potentially more customers. At least they are making all their extensions free on GitHub and not leaving people totally stuck. So kudos to them for that decision. It also means others have an opportunity to pick up an existing extension with an existing customer base and further develop it themselves and contribute something positive to the project if they want to." Now, I thought that was a really great comment, and I contacted Nikki and asked her for permission to share that. Of course, it's on Facebook, so you can read it there. I like that comment that she made because it's just really grounded in reality that this is a business decision, not a personal decision against Joomla or the project or anything like that. Although all kinds of factors come into decisions that people make, but that's Chaitin's business, and you can talk to him about what those things are or may have been or whatnot. But the point is that Asteroid and all that software is there available for any company to fork and take on and continue to support. And just as I did not see a solution to pay, or even a solution for me to get it for free, a number of companies have looked at it. And even though I think it's a great product, maybe, and they probably see the value in it, none were going to pay for it. And so JoomDev has made this available. So it is out there, and Asteroid may not be going away. In fact, just before I start to record this, I noticed that there's already a company that has said that they're going to fork it. Now, I'm not going to put the link here because it's very fresh and new. And as I reevaluate everything and where I'm going with things, well, I can always do another video, or we'll see that news come out where things settle down. Anyway, so Asteroid framework might not be gone. It's just JoomDev is not going to be the company working on it anymore, and they've given it away. It's out there for anybody to use, and more power to anyone who has the ability to do something with it. Now, the last thing that I want to share about my reaction, my feelings about JoomDev not doing the Joomla products anymore, particularly the Asteroid framework, is something that I think that would be really helpful for our community, our Joomla community, or any community, or this even has spillover into your life, into your friends, into your family. And that is this, that when Chayton first told me the news that they were not going to continue on with Joomla products and with Asteroid framework, I was really mad. I really, really felt mad right after he told me, and it took me a little while to calm down. Calm down is maybe too strong a word, but it took me a while to look inside of myself and understand what it was, why I was mad, and why I was feeling the way that I felt. You know, we see lots of examples in the Joomla community where people feel things and then express those feelings with arguments and facts and how they think things should be. And I just think that it's a practical skill. It's part of becoming emotionally mature, or maturing emotionally as human beings, that even though things happen around us, we may have no control over what other people do. We may have no control over what maybe has happened around us, but we do have something that we can do or learn to do in how we react to those things that happen around us, to what causes feelings in us. So when we were babies, all that we knew for getting through this life and getting what we needed was crying and making noise. So we would cry when we were hungry. We would cry when we were sad. We would cry when we were sleepy. That's just all we had was crying. And crying for a baby works really well because it creates discomfort for everybody else until they figure out what the cause of the crying is. You don't have to explain it. You don't have to understand it. You don't have to change it. The baby just cries and makes noise so that other people will change so that it can be happy. And that works great for babies. But at some point in our lives, we have to realize what we're feeling is, we need to realize how to help ourselves, understand ourselves, why we are. Now, sure, yeah, when we get older, we know that we're hungry, we get food. When we're tired, we go to sleep. When we're in pain, we do something about the pain. Go to the doctor, get a Band-Aid, take a pill or something like that for our headaches. But other things come into play when things happen or people make decisions and we have an emotional reaction. And I want to just explain to you as an example, just a little bit of personal sharing here, what I realized why it was that I was angry, that was fueling a bunch of my anger at this business decision that JoomDev made. And so I just very, very quickly give you the Coles Notes version. I am estranged from my natural father. My parents divorced when I was 8. My mom married my dad, who's really my stepdad, but married my dad when I was 10. And so in that sense, I've had lots of, I didn't grow up without a father. But my natural father was he's retired now, was a police officer in our hometown. And my perception, and that's very important to say, my perception and feeling as a kid growing up in that town was that he was big man in town for everyone except his two kids, me and my sister. And down through the years, even after a really big effort when I was 30, trying to reconcile with him, which went terrible, we have been estranged. The abuse that I experienced at his hands was neglect and lack of attention, right? Just disregard. As he drifted out of my life. So I discovered probably when I was 40 or 41 at a crisis time in my life, and I won't go into the whole story, but I realized that I was making every decision that I made as an adult that had consequences for other people or that, responsible decisions. I would make the decision that would earn the respect that I thought would earn the respect of others, which is great. It's great to make the right decision, to do something wise that helps others and that they respect. But I was doing it also because I thought, if others respect me, and that means if my natural father knew me, he would approve of me as well. I would have his favor, which I've not had for a long time. So when JoomDev made this announcement, and Chaitin told me about the decision that they had made, I was really angry because part of the things that I do on my channel and part of the things that I do in the Joomla community, I want to have a positive impact. I want to give people good information. It's important for me to do things well and to be respected. And in my subconscious, I realized, wow, I've promoted this to a lot of people. I've run it up the flagpole and saluted. And I think I've influenced people to go in this direction. And now it's possible that it's just going to stop. And what are people going to think about me? And of course, in that little subroutine in my head, which still pops up every now, it's like, well, if other people are going to think negatively of me, then maybe my natural father would disapprove of me as well. I just raised that as an example of something, the kind of introspection that needs to happen in all of our lives, and that our Joomla community would really benefit from. We see regularly people who have feelings about something that is said or done in Joomla or suggested, or what some people do or what people don't do, and they have feelings about it. And it would be really helpful if, instead of just blasting out and crying like a baby or hurting other people with words or just saying things in long posts and angry fits of immature rage, if we just really stop and say, hey, why do I feel the way that I feel? This person has made this decision. This is the way they are. It's just always going to be that way, probably. I can't do anything to change them, but I can do something to change how I feel. If we can do that in our community, in the Joomla community, we're going to push away a lot less people, right? Because, hey, listen, when a baby cries, all right, we take care of its needs, and of course we love the baby, but it's also nice when the baby's sleeping. And so sometimes when there's peace in the Joomla community, nothing happening, it's kind of nice for everything to be peaceful. But there's lots of us who avoid involvement or even deeper involvement because we just don't like the emotional outbursts and abuse that happens from people who are emotionally immature and don't look at themselves to deal with their reactions and understand and coexist better, but who just keep exploding, trying to get people, in the hope that people will change and stop bringing up this, whatever it is that is upsetting them. So I want to take that time to share that. My videos that I put out are very different. I'm not a programmer. As far as business, I make my living doing digital work. A lot of it is in Joomla. It's not all in Joomla. It's not all even web pages. But you can find people who are smarter than me who can talk about business and what it takes to do in Joomla. You can find people smarter than me who know more about programming, security, just about any tech subject that's related to Joomla. You'll find people that know way more than me. But I will say this, when it comes to living in community, and since Joomla is an open source community, it's important for us to be doing more than just the facts and the acts and the truth, the business truth of everything that's needed. We really need to connect with ourselves and with each other, and not in healthy, emotional community ways, so that that aspect of our project continues. Because otherwise what happens, and it's happened a couple times this year, the very things at the very times we should be celebrating the successes of our community, we're actually tearing each other apart, or we're actually complaining right out in full view, and we wonder in the end, why is it that more people aren't joining us? Why is it that more people aren't using our stuff? Why is it that more people aren't? Why? And it part of it, a big part of it, I think, is learning to get along together as emotionally healthy human beings. All right, so those are my feelings and why I had some of them at this announcement that JoomDev made. I hope that it continues. I hope that whoever picks up Astra will continue it. I also hope that if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, that you will. Ring the bell to get notifications of new things. It's not all like this. And if you are in Joomla and you have a project or something that you want to show, hit me up, send me an email, tim@cybercell.com, and I would love to have you on the channel, probably. All right, everybody, I hope that wherever you are, be it morning, afternoon, evening, or tomorrow, that this finds you well. And until the next time, enjoy your Joomla sites, and God bless.